Friday, September 23rd. I've got a lot to go over today. First off, TrendSpider's on sale. We will go over the details of that. And yes, you're going to have to sit through it because you people, have you once said thank you, to quote JD Vance? Have you said thank you? Because we're going to go over some winners. Is this a bubble? We're going to go over alpha picks. Should you buy the ones that are down? Because I did yesterday. So let's talk about that. Apple, I was completely wrong. The NVIDIA OpenAI deal, it's major, but it's kind of a card shuffle game. If you really want to know the truth, we'll go over all of that. We'll go over some energy names that are out there. One I missed, Applied Digital, which is up like 50%, 20% yesterday alone. What I'm looking to buy on this dip, because there are some dips. And then two specific retail trades that I found out there. One that's up like 120% in the last day. So, want to know what yesterday felt like for all the crypto bros? This is it. Your altcoins. I mean, Bitcoin was down 5%. The Ethereum was down a little bit. And your altcoins, again, want to know what it felt like? My particular net worth in crypto is close to 5%. I barely noticed it drop yesterday. Want to know why? Because Apple was up 4%. I was up huge yesterday. It all has to do with the sizing of your portfolio. And again, somebody asked me about IWM. I'm not a huge fan of IWM. It's a small cap ETF. I am a fan of QQQ and VOO. So again, in my mind, it's just about making sure that your own portfolio is set up for you to win. If you are set up in those risky assets like altcoins and some of the speculative ones, on certain days, you're going to live through 5-10% downturns. So let's talk about charts. Why do charts matter? You may say, hey, I don't know anything about charts, but why do chart matters? The first thing, the most important indicator of a stock's performance is price. Okay, what's driving the price? Your opinion on what's driving the stock price means nothing. It's the price. That's it. Now, what has TrendSpider done? TrendSpider is offering a new offer. Okay, it's the fall savings. They are not only upping your Sidekick. Remember, Sidekick is the AI thing. They have doubled your message capacity. It's going from 10 to 25. So if you sign up today, you get 25 messages per month. FYI, when it was 10, I didn't use 10. So you can go even deeper than I've ever gone. So let's go over some of the things that I'm going to give you as part of this sale. First off, what is Sidekick? They give you a complete description. Okay, they give you different personas, custom root prompts. Remember, Sidekick is not a large language model that's open and open sourced. It is specifically trained and only has things housed in TrendSpider. So the more people use it, the better it becomes. And I'm going to give you in the newsletter sample prompts, okay? Market briefs. Write me a morning market brief highlighting today's most important event. Ranking stocks. Rank the stocks on my watch list. Market breadth. Check market breadth. Deep dive on a ticker. Platform expansion. And then you can even do using TrendSpider. Show me how to set up a custom watch list scanner in TrendSpider. Walk me through how to backtest a strategy on TrendSpider step by step. Again, it's Sidekick. It is plain English language. Now, I'm also going to show you, they just had this hackathon, okay? And Mike did this video on YouTube, and he goes over the hackathon results. They have 80 new indicators that were created from traders and investors like me that help you use the tool even better. Remember, this is about visualizing the stock price. It's not about finding, your next opportunity. That comes when you find the stock price, because all you care about is the stock price. Now, I want to go over these offers because it's a big deal. And I point this out every time. Every time they have one of these sales, I point this out, okay? The top plan for $117 a month. That seems like a lot. But if it's within your budget, I'm going to just break it down for you. You get a one-on-one training session with a product expert who knows more than I do on TrendSpider for 52 times per year. That's once per week. Or you can do 2 times a week for 26 weeks. Whatever, floats your boat. That's just over $27 per training class. Okay? So $117 per month seems like a lot. Break it down. Understand, you want to learn piano? You're going to pay more than $27 for an hour one-on-one. You want to learn golf? You're going to pay more than $27. Plus, they don't give you the clubs for free. This, if you just assume it's $117 per month and you're getting 4 training classes per month, they're giving you the golf clubs for free. They're giving you the piano for free for 1 year. Okay, and again, you've got 80 new custom indicators on this store. And if you're a TrendSpider subscriber, just go and import some of them. Play on them. RSI divergence, bottom catcher scanner. Again, Chande breakout buddy, valuation dashboard, multi-scale VWAP gradient cloud. This is pointed out by Mike as just a crazy one. VWAP, volume weighted average price. I don't use it, but it is amazing. Okay? And I want to point out, some people are saying thank you to me. We just quoted JD Vance, and I'll say it again when he was in the Oval Office with Zelensky. Did you say thank you? Because look, music, tell me SanDisk, I gave him that one, up 13%. WDC up 9%. Wild 3%. IAG. All of these are not from paid newsletters. They are simply from listening to my podcast. Again, JD Vance, did you say thank you? Because yesterday, I Am Gold, IAG was up 6%. WDC was up 6%. IREN was up 8%. SanDisk just got a price target move. And this one is, let's see, in pre-market, it's up 1%. Yesterday, look at that move on the 4-hour algorithm. You could have bought it at 44. So again, if you had TrendSpider, maybe you got in here at 44. Guess what? You're at $102 right now. This performs better than buy and hold. It wins 75% of the time. You've made 163% trading this just 4 times over the last 7 months. Again, back testing starts here. So, is this a bubble? Maybe. History often repeats why the housing bubble in the stock market could go bust in 2026. To be honest, it feels like a bubble, and it's felt like that for weeks now. I read this article on why this may be a bubble, and it made some really good points about the housing crisis and what this bubble could do. But they point out 2026, it's in the title. That's why you have charts. That's why you stick to price. Don't try and time things. Let the chart tell you where the market's going. Even a market crash of 10% on QQQ would take you back to July. It wouldn't take you back here to April. And if we get a 10% correction down, that would be a big move. 60 points off of this would take you below the 50-day. But the consumer's still strong. The lower end consumer is weaker, and it sounds horrible to say. But the overall consumer, go into a mall. Take a look at this. And I want you to start thinking like this. This is Jim Cramer yesterday touting nice club member gain, CNBC Investing Club. The picture shows somebody who's making like $17, but they're up like 40%. So I want you to start thinking about tools. His investment club costs like $800 a year. There's not $800 in profit there. And he's touting this as a great club member. So I want you to remember, any tool that you spend money on, there's 3 things you should think about. First, your time. If it takes you less time to do the same thing you were doing, one of the reasons I got TrendSpider is because I can literally go down my portfolio, which is a watch list, and I can just hit the down button and know where everything is on a chart. I used to use Active Trader Pro. I used to use Thinkorswim. I couldn't do that. The other tools, I would literally have to type in and have a spreadsheet of my portfolio and just copy and paste so that I could see it. Saves me time, okay? And that's worth money. The second thing, and by the way, that's why I have Seeking Alpha, because Seeking Alpha is fantastic at just saving me time. I can have these lists over here and look at my entire portfolio. So the second thing I want to tell you to look at when you're looking at buying a tool is the actual dollar amount that it might make you or lose you. If your returns are more than you spend, that might be a great tool for you to get. But would you have been just as good saving the money and buying an ETF like with Jim Cramer? We know he doesn't beat the S&P. We know that. And it's very hard to beat the S&P. I'm not downing him on that one. But the reality of it is, if this person would have just saved his $600 or $800, whatever he paid for the investment club, and just bought VOO, he probably would have been doing better. So again, the actual dollar amount that you're going to make, not the percentage, the dollar amount that you make, it's going to determine that. Is the tool worth it? And the third thing is education. Okay, I just talked about the 52 trainings in TrendSpider, where you get an education, and it's literally significantly less than any other education that you can get. But Alpha Picks and Seeking Alpha Premium both have saved me time, but they've also provided me an education as to how to manage a portfolio in Alpha Picks. Okay, I didn't know how to manage a portfolio as well as these guys do. It's rules-based. So I created rules around my own management of portfolio. Okay? And then Seeking Alpha Premium, they showed me the quant. They showed me how to value a stock in a very easily identifiable visual way. So when you're looking at these tools, when you look at Seeking Alpha Premium and Alpha Picks together, and it costs you $639. Think of the time, the education, and the actual money that you might make. Because you may find a stock here in the top stocks that makes you that $600, depending on how much money you put into those trades. You may actually just save time by having the portfolio over there. And you might get an education because of the stocks, like literally just going into a stock and analyze with AI and seeing all of this on your current thing. So again, whether it's the premium and the Alpha Picks or whether it's TrendSpider, those are the three things that you should be looking at. And I'll bring up an example yesterday. Okay. I got a question from a new Alpha Picks subscriber who just signed up. Should you buy picks that are down in the overall portfolio? And I was coming back from the gym yesterday, 4:25, and I got this alert at 4 p.m. by LRN. Well, LRN is in the Alpha Picks portfolio. And you can see the Alpha Picks portfolio beats the S&P over time on a 1 month, on a 3 month, on a 6 month, on a year to date. And since its inception, it beats the S&P. So it is a quality portfolio. Again, Jim Cramer's investment club does not do that. But LRN specifically is an Alpha Pick. And I said, interesting. LRN, I didn't know that I necessarily had it, a lot of it, but I hadn't bought enough of it that I thought, maybe this could turn around. Why? Because this was picked. It's a top 2025 stock from January. Okay. Year to date, it's up 38%. So had I bought it in January, it'd be up 38%, but it's recently gone through a drop. Okay. So when you look at LRN, here it is back in June, where it was a buy for about $151. We've seen it slide since then. It was down 7%, I think, in the overall portfolio of Alpha Picks. So I decided, let's take a look at this, because the 4-hour algorithm, it wins 55% of the time. Over 24 months, it trades 23 times. So you win 12, you lose 11. Not bad, okay? And it gave me an alert yesterday at 144. I bought it at 144. I didn't need to sit and look at charts. Saves me time. I did all of this during, time that I had in front of the computer. It took me 10 minutes to go and look. It's a buy in the quant. Wall Street says that the price target is $163. They've been revising this one up, 4 up on earnings per share, 5 up on revenue, none down. And the quant ratings are pretty good. And when you go and look at the history of the quant, what happened? Well, it's the valuation. With the dip, it's the valuation. And when you look at the 52-week, it's between 63 and 171. So I went over to TrendSpider and I said, let me look at the chart. Well, 4-hour algorithm trades pretty well. Let's add to it. And when it gets up there to 162, maybe I start trimming this 144. Again, risk reward. When you look at the chart, the MACD is below the oscillator. The RSI is coming off a way oversold level. You see it down there. Well, let me move it a little. We'll move this back here. We'll move that back there. You can see the MACD below the oscillator. The RSI, it was at 24. It's oversold. Again, saving time. With my old tools, this might have taken an hour, and I would have had to check in on this every day. Nah, not with TrendSpider, not with Seeking Alpha. So I just completed it literally on my phone. It was nice and simple. So again, when you go to Linktree, the top one is TrendSpider, and then you go and get the bundle. And so that's it. It saves you time, makes you money. Again, the whole thing. Now let's talk about Apple. Because remember, I said trim it at 230 and start buying QQQ because it was too expensive. I was wrong. It's still too expensive. FYI, it's still too expensively. So I did this for a good chunk of Apple, and it didn't work out great, but I still participated because Apple is 8% of QQQ. I think it's 7 or 8%. So I also said earlier in the year that Apple is a $260 stock. Someone is buying a large amount of this stock. Remember, the market is a free system. So when somebody sells, somebody's buying. Dan Ives says it's a $310 stock. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's at $255 right now. It was up 4% yesterday. Okay, this is a whole article. The 17 lineup is strong. I can tell you the new operating system on the 13 Pro, it lags. It doesn't do well. And that's a 13. There are over 1 billion devices that are older and they need to be updated. The store over the weekend was crazy. T-Mobile said it was their largest weekend upgrade cycle in history. That's what's pushing the stock higher. Okay, and Apple and Meta, they're 27% of the buybacks on the S&P 500, and Apple buys back a ton of stock. So what's the plan? You got to have a plan. You need a plan. So my plan yesterday, hey, when it gets to 260, I'm going to trim a little bit. Why? Because that's the December previous all-time high. And the valuation is still expensive. It's still expensive. Do I want to buy it 256 right now? Probably not. But I'll be trimming at 260. Am I getting rid of it? No. I'll be buying it on a dip, which I do think will take place because, again, it is expensive. When you go and look at Apple, it is 30 times forward earnings, and it's not growing very fast. But with an iPhone upgrade cycle, this may change. But there are plenty of opportunities for stocks that are growing 10, 15, 20% at a significantly lower rate, at a lower cost, I should say. So again, my plan is to trim, but my portfolio is not yours. So did I make a mistake? Absolutely. Is it the end of the world? No. Because I still participated because I bought QQQ. Now, NVIDIA, this was a blockbuster deal. And like I said, we are in an AI market. And remember how I said AMD will outperform NVIDIA over the next 12 months? I take that back. I was wrong again. Twice I'm wrong on this in my own personal portfolio. The way I bought AMD was I didn't sell NVIDIA. I don't want to sell NVIDIA. NVIDIA is one of the big winners in this. And NVIDIA not only has a moat, they have an entire castle, and they are going to win this AI game. So I took my Pan W, which I had a plan, okay? Palo Alto Networks. I said when it gets to 200, I'm going to trim it. It's at 208 right now. Has it pulled back to 200 to prove that this is support? No. So until then, I'm sitting on 50% of my investment, but I put that into AMD. So I didn't sell my NVIDIA. The plan is there. Again, if you journal these things and you make a plan and it doesn't work out, you journal it again. Do not make mistakes that cost you a ton. Make mistakes that cost you an opportunity. Because all I did wasn't just not buying more NVIDIA. I bought AMD. Is that a bad thing? No. But again, NVIDIA, it's not just a moat, it's a fortress. They now have their own AI. Everybody is buying their chips, including OpenAI. OpenAI gets $100 billion, which could be in turn used to pay Oracle or one of those power deals. And now NVIDIA owns a portion of the leading LLM. Again, OpenAI may not be the best LLM, but they are in the news and they are the leader. This may mean Meta will have to outspend OpenAI by paying more for NVIDIA chips, okay? Because remember, NVIDIA investment could be worth as much as $500 billion in revenue, Bank of America says. This could take NVIDIA to $5 trillion. Right now, it's at 4.46. That would be a 10% move. And so it's not unheard of that could do that. Remember, this is how Microsoft went up. Now, on the other end, Broadcom, which has been a strong winner. This one was down yesterday. Well, why was Broadcom down? Why? It was said literally in this earnings release. They said a $10 billion order for the second half of 2026 alone. They had a mystery customer. That mystery customer was assumed to be OpenAI. Well, where are they buying? OpenAI just did a $100 billion deal with NVIDIA. Do you think they're going to spend $10 billion on their own custom chips? They're probably going to, maybe buy less. Again, I'll talk about it in a little bit. But that's why Broadcom went down. Now, you want to know where to invest in? Here's 10 stocks to watch after NVIDIA's $100 billion commitment to OpenAI. They talk about Micron. There's the earnings later today. They even talk about Broadcom, A-Lab, NVIDIA, Credo, Rambus, First Solar, AMD. They're all in there. Go and research them. And then if you go to my newsletter, okay, I did this. Let's see. We'll just go to the paid one. And then you go down here, the power surge. This one. I put into Perplexity. This is back in July. Okay. I put into Perplexity. I said, what are the power players that I should look at? I put literally the portfolio into Seeking Alpha. Now, some of the big names yesterday, Constellation Energy, which isn't trading at its all-time high. Vistra, VST, GE Vernova, TLN. Okay, Jensen Huang. This is the biggest infrastructure project in history. Computing demand is going through the roof for OpenAI. NVIDIA will be the king. I'm going to put in the newsletter today. Sign up for the newsletter. Let us help you grow. I'm going to put in computing power. You've got Oklo. Okay, Oklo. Price target just went to 150. As Dan Ives stretching it, it's trading at 140. Okay? Oklo is a big winner in this. Now, I want to point out that if you're trading Oklo without a plan, you're going to deal with huge. We talked about beta. The beta score of Oklo, beta is risk. Remember, beta is risk. Let's talk. No, I want Oklo. Beta is risk. So we're going to go down to the front page, and you can find this on any. If you're using a fundamental tool that's different from Seeking Alpha, just look for beta. Beta here is 1.75. Okay, Oklo in the 4-hour algorithm. The beta on the 4-hour algorithm goes down to 0.74. 0.74. And you got in at 75. You've almost doubled your money here just since September 10th. Now, I don't think it's worth it. It's not in my portfolio, but there are plenty of other names here. Oklo, SEI, LEU, SMR, NRG, Duke Energy, Infrastructure, VRT, ETN. I will put all of those into the newsletter. And then the question is here, are we in a bubble? Oracle says OpenAI committed $300 billion for cloud compute. Oracle stock jumps 40%. Oracle runs on NVIDIA GPUs, has to buy billions in chips from NVIDIA. NVIDIA goes up in price. NVIDIA just announced they're investing $100 billion into OpenAI. OpenAI uses that money to pay back Oracle, who then pays NVIDIA. Who's investing in OpenAI? Again, it's an infinite money glitch. Are we in a bubble? Certainly seems like it. And if you think we're in a bubble, then you better have charts that have a plan. That's my plan. I am trading on these charts. And yes, it is an integrated part of my system that includes Seeking Alpha, but the charts are key. I have alerts set up all the time for myself. And then one that I missed, Applied Digital. This is one that has gone crazy. And if you had the 4-hour algorithm and it's one that you wanted, you're in at 16 on September 10th. It's trading at 24. It is up at 25. It's up 3% in pre-market. I've completely missed it. It was up 20% yesterday, 57% in just 1 month. Now, this particular analyst goes over it. Wait till valuations matter, then get in. Because the valuation is crazy right now. They're not making money. Wall Street does think it's worth $21, which is 13% downside. So the 4-hour algorithm, it may protect you. Again, make sure you have a plan. I just didn't like this run up. I don't like the stock. It's not one that I've looked at. Now, if you want to know some stocks that I'm looking to buy the dip on, Bitmine, BMNR. I have gone over this one. It was down yesterday. Let's see. Is it down again today? BMNR is up 3% in pre-market. I'm looking to buy the dip. I like the dip. I want to buy the dip. If we just look at this chart, where'd the 4-hour algorithm get you in? At 43. I have to update this because not only are you up 18% in 2 days, you went up 47% in 9 days, and the drop takes you down to 24%. I will buy the dip. The 4-hour algorithm, I want to use that as a guide. Okay, if you're interested in Bitmine, understand what they do. Read the analysis. This particular analyst says it's a buy, and they go over why. This particular analyst also says it's a buy, and they go over why. Understand what you're investing in. Another one that I'm going to buy the dip on, ETHA. This is Ethereum. Ethereum, the 4-hour algorithm, this one got you out. I will be buying when it gets you back in. Okay, it's up 1%. I will be buying this one as a buy and hold. Another one that you may have gotten into without a plan, and I know I'm going to hear it from people. When do I get out of Open? I heard it from my MLS guy, Charlie. What do I do with Open? Trade it on the 4-hour algorithm. trade it on the 4-hour algorithm. When this one gets you out again, get out. I most likely will be buying this dip. It got down to $7. It's down at $8 right now. $8. Did I buy at $11? Did I want to buy at $11? Absolutely. Did I want to buy at $5? Absolutely. Did I? No. Risk and reward. You've got to feel comfortable with the decisions that you make. Toast is a great example. I've loved this stock. And I know people bought this at 40 up here, 44. I know people probably bought this at 48. Where was the plan? Well, my plan was this trend line. And as it broke the trend line, I got an alert. Did I want to buy it? Yes. But it broke the trend line. Did I want to buy it at 40? You bet I wanted to buy it at 40. Did I? No. Why? Because I have enough names in my portfolio that this isn't one that I'm buying just on a dip. I like the stock, but it's expensive. And could I trade it? Absolutely. But there are so many other names that I want to trade. And this one, its valuation is expensive. The quant has it as a hold. It hasn't been a strong buy ever since, let's see, way back here, 33. If we get back to 33, maybe that valuation goes there. But the momentum hasn't been very good. So do I want to trade this in a bull market? No, it just isn't one that's huge. Now, Credo was down 5% yesterday. I've talked about this one as a big winner. Credo here, 4-hour algorithm got you in at 115. Has it gotten you out? No. But I will be buying this on a dip. I will. It is still a good stock. Is it expensive? You damn well bet it's expensive. It's usually expensive. The quant has it as a hold. Okay. Wall Street says it's a strong buy, but their price target is $150. I'm the guy that sold this at $97. It's at $165 right now. $165. So let's talk about some of the trades that I may want to get into. Grab. This is Amit. Amit, I like. I respect him. But I don't think the guy's old enough to ever trade in a multi-year down market. And if we are in a bubble and we go into a multi-year down market, this is not somebody I think who might be prepared. But again, he very well might be. I don't know. There are people that will show their colors when the bear market shows up. And FYI, 2022 was not a bear market. That was a historic rising of interest rates. And anybody could have told you exactly what 2022 was doing. But this Amit likes grab. Do I like grab? Well, when you look at the 4-hour algorithm, it actually trades better than buy and hold. 91% versus 85%. And if I had this on my watch list like I do now, then I would have bought at $5 here on September 5th. You're at $6.44. So had I had this on my watch list, I'd be up 30% in 17 days. So again, understand what you're getting into because grab is a bet on growth. It's not a bet on value. Its valuation is crazy. It's a bet on growth. In Wall Street, there are 26 analysts that cover this. So 26 people who are much more informed about this than me. They think the average price target is $6.19. That's a 4% downside. So do I want to buy it at $6.55 or do I want to buy it when it dips? Again, understand what you're getting into. And I've said Eric Jackson on Twitter, this is the open door army leader. This is the guy who started this. He had a new stock yesterday. Okay? Better Home. He literally calls it the Shopify of mortgages. And with reducing rates, do you think that the Shopify of mortgages would be a good investment? Well, here, $14 on August 12th. Would I have taken this bet? Probably not. 4-hour algorithm far outweighs your buy and hold. Now you're down at $49. Are you? Because in pre-market, you're up at $70. It's up 41% in pre-market. And Eric Jackson goes over it all in this video, okay? There is a video of it that it's rebuilding a $15 trillion industry from scratch with AI. It's an AI play. Understand what you're getting into. He goes over it here on this video, the whole thing. Again, he likes it. Do you like it? Because Seeking Alpha analysts have it as a sell. Okay? With gross priced in, they're moving it to a sell. This is somebody who's up 50% since they posted a buy. So again, I like this one. It's something that I want to look into. I added it to a watch list. So if we are in a bubble, your key is going to be charts. Don't miss out on charts. TrendSpider, set alerts. I just gave you several of them that I've got alerts on. Set alerts. You can pay for your subscription if you both save money and make money. Because remember, there's 3 ways that these tools actually are valuable. Your time, because it saves you time. Your actual money, so the money that you put in and invest. And then the education. The education portion on any of these tools are huge. So if you want TrendSpider, go to my link tree right there or in the newsletter, click on the link. And if you want Seeking Alpha, the bundle is the second one. But don't think that you have to get this bundle if it's not in your budget. I had to deal with Friday and Saturday dealing with Seeking Alpha free and FinViz doing my research. Good God, it took forever. And so if you want premium, remember those top 2025 stocks and the second half 2025 stocks, they are still good to buy. If they are a strong buy in the quant, do your research and understand what you're buying. And you get a free 7-day trial. Again, everything's on Linktree. And remember, Alpha Picks, I point people towards Alpha Picks. And in fact, the person who asked about IWM in the chat, in Substack yesterday, I pointed them to Alpha Picks. Why? Because IWM is filled with half the companies are not making money. Fundamentally, they are not good companies. So what does Alpha Picks give you? It gives you a quality look at companies and quality companies. It's rules-based. So click on the link and find out what the rules are. But if you have any questions, you can certainly go to Linktree, hit me up, my email's right there, or just reply to the newsletter. Or leave a comment somewhere, anywhere. I will talk to you tomorrow. See you, bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.